you always need to have a backup and a plan B, C, D. The more plans you have down the alphabet, the less risk you are at, ever having to be impacted financially.
What does it feel like to fly in a private jet?
No, I'm not billionaire status yet.
This is MMR Podcast. MMR Podcast. First episode of MMR Podcast. How you feeling, Emmy?
Feeling great.
Are you ready for this?
I'm ready, Freddie.
Okay, guys, if you're new here, make sure to hit the subscribe button. Like always, make sure to follow Amy on Instagram. The handles are right there on the screen for me. Don't worry about it. Just appreciate that you follow Amy.
No, follow him too. He's the source.
Just subscribe. It's okay. I'm happy with it. How you been?
Fabulous.
How your week been?
Well, it's the start of the new week. Today is Sunday fun day. But it's been really good. I had a lot of progression, lots of work. And it's been pretty chilly here in LA. So it takes me back to the back east where, it was always cold, basically, except for 3 months out of the year.
Well, are you ever going to go back to in the DMV?
I have some friends there, and I really miss them so much, but it's so hard to, with the scenarios these days with the flights and everything. And I love California so much. The weather, the people, and just the fact.
You like the people out here?
I love the people here. They're so amazing. Like the people out here. Really? I was about to say.
When is the last time you went back?
Oh my goodness. It was before COVID, and I just went for work. It wasn't even for vacation. I didn't even get a chance to visit anybody. So I was literally there like one night and came back.
Nice. What does it feel like to fly in a private jet?
That I haven't experienced yet.
You don't have a private jet?
I don't know. You're gonna have to tell me. No. They say if you have to worry about the fuel, you're not ready to buy it yet. Really? So
how much fuel does it take? It takes like
a lot.
Big bags. It takes big bags for fuel in a plane.
Yes.
Jet. I thought you had a private jet.
No, I'm not billionaire status yet. But we've got goals.
Okay, we're gonna get a private jet. Next time we make a podcast,
we get there.
Amy's gonna show you a private jet.
We'll do it from the private jet. Okay. How's that? Jam Air. There you go. Visualize to materialize. I'm telling you. I'm picking out my private jet carpet color right now. Yeah. Everything green for money.
That's pretty good.
Right?
Yeah. And the next question is, forgot.
It's okay, guys. It's his first podcast. Cut him some slack. You want me? I'll ask you a question. Okay. Where do you see yourself in 10 years, Khalid?
10 years, I see myself with way too many properties, with building churches, building school for orphans, building for like things for kids. Things for kids to be better. Like it's kind of like how can I do daycare when the kids go, but I'm a bit like. It's going to be like a big one, a very, very big one where, we have kids that play, soccer, some of them playing basketball, some of them learning how to be an engineer, something like that. That's one of the things that I'm trying to do in 10 years. And then my music is eventually going to be big out there. And then too many things, in 10 years is going to be crazy.
What about your personal life? What do you see yourself in 10 years? Do you see yourself married? Do you see yourself with children?
I see myself married,
A couple dogs.
I have to get dogs.
Bird.
Maybe dog. I don't know. I don't hate dogs. I don't hate dogs. It's simply because if somebody want to take care of them, it's okay. Because me, I don't think I could help. Okay, like if I have to help, then I'm gonna have to help. Okay, but like I'm not really the guy that say I'm gonna be worried about dogs, and it's not really my thing.
But I heard they say that having a dog like actually living with your dog, of course, and taking care of it adds like 10 to 20 years to your life.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. It's true. Look it up somewhere. It's in there in that thing called Google.
One thing I wanna live on top of 10, 20 years. I just wanna die when it's time. You know.
Well, you can think about that when you're dead. Let's talk about life now. So that's really cool. So you want to build orphanages and places for
Big
kids
plans,
to be
yeah.
able to build their skill sets,
Yeah.
which is super important from the
Yes.
get-go.
Yeah.
You know, and that's great. You want to do that
Churches.
here?
Churches. It in Africa here.
Okay.
It doesn't really matter what.
There's
Yeah.
a lot of programs I know that are available here to support visions like that, you know, like grants and
Yeah.
stuff. So you don't have to do it all on your own.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
That's one of the things I want to do. And churches. I want to build churches. I want to build schools.
So
schools in
where are
Africa.
you at right now with that vision? Are you like still trying to prioritize, or have you taken any steps, or have you found like locations you potentially want to start this at?
Right now, not yet. I'm still trying to, because I got things I gotta do before I get there. And by the time I'm getting these things, I'm like almost done with the things that I'm doing. I'm gonna start planning, like looking for location and all those things.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's good. At least you know you have one dependency, and you're gonna get to initiate your efforts once you're done with that dependency.
Yes.
So like with any effort, guys, what I like to break it up into is a workable packages. So when you get to the point when you're ready and you have like basically 4 phases, I'm gonna drop some project management on you all now. So 1, we've got initiation. That's when you start your effort. So in Khalil's case, I would say that means he would focus in on, because he said a lot of things, right? He said church, he said orphanage, he said center for children to build their skill sets and teach them things. So he'd pick of the 3, prioritize his 3 goals, and he would say, okay, I'm going to start, for example, the church now. Next, it would be planning. So that's where you actually want to build out your plan. So step 1, find a location. Step 2, build it out.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's already built out. Or step 3, find a preacher. Or maybe you want to be the preacher. Go to seminary and learn how to preach professionally,
I think I can't really be a preacher. I want to be the guy behind the scene. The motor, like the guy that makes things work.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So if I'm really the preacher, I feel like I'm going to be focused too much on preaching than actually put in the work, because I feel like that's the main part. The part getting the preacher is kind of easier than getting the things actually done. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like if I can get a preacher, then I can be the guy behind that's running everything.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's basically what it is. That's my
Awesome.
plan.
So then you would do, so once you're in your plan, you've got everything set and you're ready to execute. So number 3 is execute. 1, initiate, start. 2, plan. 3, execute. Execute is the most important thing. You can do everything. You can plan. You can have a huge church plan, business plan, roadmap, blueprint. But if you do not execute that, there is no point in all that, folks. So save and conserve your energy for that execution. And what does that mean? That means actually hiring folks, building out your space, promoting, marketing, finding your preacher, figuring out if you want to do maybe broadcasting of your church, on TV, on streaming or whatever. And last of the 4 steps to getting your project off the ground and successful is not just finishing, but really monitoring it, maintaining it, having the right things in place to make sure that it's not just a one and done. It means that you're actually ongoing, managing, growing every year, setting new goals for yourself. Maybe you're opening like 4 locations. You have 1, you want to open 4 more churches. That's going to be part of your maintenance and control.
Yes.
So quiz, what are the 4 phases? You remember? This is my student here. You see what I have to deal with. Number 1, I'm going to say this one time. I'm going to quiz you again at the end. Number 1, initiate. Number 2, plan. Number 3, execute. Number 4, monitor and control.
I got it. Initiate, plan, execute, and monetization.
Monitor and control.
Okay. Okay. I'm learning.
Great success.
If I were to give you 10 mil today to
$10 million?
Yes. What would you invest in?
Real estate.
All in real estate?
All in.
Why?
I would probably buy a multifamily unit with existing tenants. And basically, I mean, I wouldn't put all of it, 10 million, into that multifamily. I would probably also purchase a shopping center if possible.
That.
Yeah. And I would use one of the spaces to build out the second branch of one of my businesses, so I wouldn't have to pay rent. So that's 2 wins. And then with existing tenants, so already generating income from day one, got my money locked in, and multiple sources of income coming. I think that's the key, Ghali. Like, that's my thing. That's my mantra, multiple sources of income. That's the most important thing. You can't just rely on your job these days, But I'm also a firm believer in 9 to 5. I think everybody should have some sort of regular full-time work, but you need to have your money that you're making from that job make money for you. Yeah. So, like, many people will say invest in 401ks, invest in the stock market. I'm actually not into that at all. I like to see where I put my money, and that is in businesses and in real estate. So I would definitely keep the 9 to 5. Folks, banks love to see that you've been at a company for years. So if you have that, if you don't have that, you go and get it, because that shows that you're a reliable person to lend money to. And it gives you a little bit of a cushion. Like, okay, let's say one of your tenants is late paying the rent. You can still pay your mortgage. You have income coming in. You have your business that's also bringing income in, so that if you get laid off from your 9 to 5 and your tenant doesn't pay the rent, you have daily cash coming in from your business that you can pay yourself with as an employee. And there's so many steps you can take to being a receiver of multiple sources of income, to minimize your vulnerability and impacts to things like inflation. I think I heard something interesting. Warren Buffett was saying the other day, somebody asked him, well, how does one adjust economically with inflation that's going on right now? Interest rates are through the roof, gas is expensive, food is blah 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 blah. And he said something like, in times of inflation, the best thing to invest in is yourself. And that, I was talking earlier on another video about building your brand. Well, folks, this is the time to make yourself irreplaceable. This is the time, if you're, for example, a real estate agent and you are having a hard time selling your houses right now, one thing you can really do is become very creative in the scenarios that you provide your customers with to sell their properties. And when they see your dedication, when they see your devotion, and your actually investing time into becoming creative and coming up with different solutions that work for different people, that builds your brand, that makes your brand stronger. And I completely agree with what Warren Buffett said. This is the time, because you know what? People cannot take away what you've invested in yourself. They cannot. That stays with you, that builds your value and your brand, and that is marketing at its best, really.
That's some facts right there. So, a cowboy, right?
All right. This is your show, so I'm going to go with it. Cowboy
rode in town on Friday. He stays at a motel for 3 days.
Oh, is this one of your jokes that, like, I have to, or is riddles that if you don't figure out it, you look like a complete moron? Is it like the chicken thing you told me the other day on Boy, he's putting me out. See, because I caught him and he failed my quiz. He's trying to make me look. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead, Khalil.
So a cowboy rode in town Friday. He stays on motel 3 days, and then he rode back out on Friday. How is that possible?
A cowboy rode into town
On Friday. He stays 3 days at a motel, and then he rode back out on Friday. How is that possible?
I can't believe you're going to do this to me on the air. I did figure out your chicken one, though. How is that possible?
Well, his horse is Friday. His name is Friday.
Can't even blame it on the alcohol, folks. He doesn't even drink.
His horse's name is Friday. He rode in town on Friday. He rode back out.
That's a pretty good
Friday.
one. I will give you that. That was good. That was good, Kylie.
Okay, now what's the hardest thing?
This is his brand. No, I'm just joking.
What's the hardest thing for you starting a business?
The hardest? I think I had no trouble with starting the business, like mentally.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I in terms of writing up documentation or our business plan and designing, I loved all that stuff. I think the hardest part for me was, you know, we did it during this business, the most recent one, during COVID. So it took much more time than we had anticipated. So that was the most frustrating thing for me, because I was like, when are we going to be done? When are we going to be done? And the permitting process took so much longer. And but I learned so much through that whole thing. It was really super valuable. I think timing was just, I was shocked. It took about 1.5 years, really, for us to open doors.
Wow.
Yeah.
If for you, like, let's say if things didn't work out for you, do you ever have a plan B?
For the if this business didn't work out?
No, yeah, like in general for you, like, let's say you were like let's say when you were doing 9 to 5, right? If your business didn't work out, were you gonna go back to 9 to 5? Or?
Well, I've always been 9 to 5. I'm still 9 to 5.
Are you?
Yeah, absolutely. I have my
your own thing that you do?
Yeah, I work every day. I'm a senior project manager, and I would never give that up. I love it because I work 9 to 5, and then after work I work on my businesses, and every day I'm challenged and I learn more at work. So that's one thing, you know. Again, another really smart guy and one of my past lives told me at work, he said, "Oh, Amy, always keep one oar in the water. Always keep one oar in the water." And that was what brought me to multiple streams of income, is understanding that, you know, you always need to have a backup and a plan B, C, D. The more plans you have down the alphabet, the less risk you are at, you know, ever having to be impacted financially.
If I had a 9 to 5 today, if I were to do 9 to 5 and I really hate it, I deeply hate it, I would have quit, what would you advise me?
So I think there's so many different kinds of 9 to 5s, right? And there's so many different kinds of companies out there. Number one, I don't want you to be miserable. Yes, I want you to have a consistent paycheck, but I would encourage you to actively look for a 9 to 5 that you enjoy, you know, and not leave your current one until you lock that offer in with the second one. And then also, what do you hate about it? Is it something that maybe you can work on with your manager and communicate and change together? And I do find that sometimes companies are more likely to change some things and work with you when you have a competing offer at hand and they're actually seeing that they may lose you.
Yeah.
So that's also a great way to leverage, you know, if you want to stay there and keep that longevity at the same company. and not leave. I would say that. And then if you're like, no, Amy, I just hate, being on, in corporate world or on the clock or whatever, then I would say, okay, find another source of consistent income, before you leave this one. So what I would encourage you to do is not leave that job until you have a investment property generating income for you. And that way, then you have money coming in, and then I'd say, okay, Khalil, now you can quit.
That sounds like 100 years plan.
Why? No, you can start small. There are so many small units. Actually, I was talking about this in my other video. There's loan programs for folks that don't have are at moderate to low income, and USDA loans that will give you money actually to purchase homes in rural areas. And I think it's interesting now. It's a lot of rural areas are becoming trendy. A lot of rich people are going away to I don't know, the Wyomings and the Iowas and the Idahos, and even here in California, different places. So you can definitely find a well-priced property, rent it out, Airbnb it, and generate income. And you're going to learn so much.
Okay, guys. I'm going to keep this short for today, for this first podcast. We're definitely going to be back with more podcasts, more riddles. You know what I mean? Maybe. Hopefully some people will figure it out.
Okay, what are the 4 phases, Khalil? What are the 4 project phases? Mr. Road on Friday.
Was it initiation?
Bravo.
Plan,
good.
Execute.
Yes.
And then monetary, I don't know, something with money.
Monitor.
Monitor
and maintain. Oh, excuse me. Maintain and control. Actually, you could do monitor too. I think it's monitor, maintenance, and control.
Okay.
But you can just say one.
See, guys, I got something here. You know what I mean? They call me the Riddler.
Goodness, he's gonna be in the next Batman movie.
Anything you want to add before we leave?
No, it's the start of a new week. I just want to encourage everyone, make the most out of this week. Monday morning, get your coffee, get going, start your day. 5 a.m. folks. 5 a.m. is for billionaires, not millionaires. Reach for the goals, and can't wait to hear about your successes. Let us know. Talk to us down below. Let us know your comments about things that are your wins, maybe the losses, and we can all learn from them. Appreciate your feedback.
The Riddler. Yeah.
High five. High five.